Welcome back, and we are here again. And Rally, of course, is standing. What do you think? If you had to whip on the MVP Miracle, what are some of the comments that you have for game number 2?
I mean, I think it's a matter of Raven playing really, really well. I mean, I was critical on both teams throughout the match, but like all in all, like although Raven made so many questionable decisions, their execution of the team fights was on point, and they're going to head into Game 3 with the momentum behind them, and that's something really powerful.
Ooh, it's gonna be Infernal Shrines, and we're going to straight into the draft. Our production is on fire today. So fast. Infernal Shrines, of course. Something also to take in mind, also never forget, is Dami's Kerrigan level. His Kerrigan is just awesome and crazy, sometimes even lives in impossible situations, healing off all the minions in the shrines by himself, taking all the numbers.
The performances that Dami put out in Kerrigan during exactly 1 year ago over the course of Super League Season 2, that was a joy to behold, and it would be wonderful if we could see that again. Dami hasn't played a whole lot of Kerrigan since moving to MVP Miracle, that's right? And Raven, I think they would want to ban Genji, actually, because usually teams would think about banning Illidan against Dami, but Illidan isn't that great of a pick on Infernal Shrine, so they might want to mix it up here, especially since Dami's Illidan isn't a must-win card.
That's right.
They won against Dami's Illidan last match.
Yeah, and also partially due to, I think as you mentioned, taking Cleanse was very helpful for them against the Hunt. Of course, Maltheo coming out here as most about the defensive tool, and the AoE damage from Soul Rip has been just so effective in this map. Also taking down the Punisher with the % damage has been very powerful. So there's a ban. I was more of expecting the Ariel ban. Seemed to be very good against Miracle right now.
Right, but again, they won against Miracle with the Ariel, so they have to be feeling a bit confident about that. And as expected, Raven did, well, as expected, MVP Miracle first picks the Genji after Raven fails to first ban it, and Dami plays a pretty mean Genji as well, so we will definitely be keeping an eye out for that one.
Yeah, every time we had Genji in the draft, we saw some amazing resets with the Dragon Blade and the Swift Strike happening.
I would definitely like to see some kind of Stitches pick or an Uther pick or possibly both, because Raven has shown time and time again that they are willing to run with that duo. So Uther picked up first. I'm hoping it's Stitches, but Ariel!
Wow! This was all planned, okay. I am liking this double support already with the AoE sustain and extra burst damage and armor onto whatever that needs armor. This is greedy too, giving up everything else for that double support.
But Uther Ariel is probably the most powerful double support combination in the game right now, even after Uther's recent nerfs, so...
Oh my, I'm feeling something.
What?
Is this going to be a Cho'Gao game?
From Raven?
Yes.
Oh, that's definitely a possibility. Now that you say it, it completely makes sense. And I was watching HGC China yesterday or 2 days ago. I can't remember. It was cast by Tetcher and Kendrick. And one of the teams played Ariel Cho'Gao on Infernal Shrines. And even before the Cho'Gao rework, we saw Infernal Shrines as the map for Cho'Gao to go before Drax's Holdout was introduced to the game. So definitely it would not be surprising for MVP Miracle to attempt to ban the Cho'Gao, but the problem is that they would probably want to ban out the Vala as well. So which of those two threats do they address?
Let's see, I think we're gonna get a lot more hint after this second ban phase coming out from Raven. Right now, there's no % damage from Miracle, and Raven already banned out the % damage. If they ban something like Tychus, this is happening. It is going to be Cho'Gao, very likely right now. I can feel it even more.
To be perfectly honest, I would have liked to see Raven mind game MVP Miracle a bit by banning Cassia, because if they banned Cassia, then it would have signaled a Vala pick, right? So MVP Miracle would have been more incentivized about the Vala, but that didn't happen. So Raven is now daring MVP Miracle to ban Cho'Gao, right? But something that I also want to highlight is that this Tychus ban might not be actually the best move because I talked with a lot of pro players and commentators about how strong Cho'Gall is, but also about how to counter that Cho'Gall Auriel. And the answers that they gave were, apart from Greymane, obviously Cursed Bullet, and Lyric with the Entomb and the W, they can't really see anything else being a hard counter. Even Tychus, although he has percentage-based damage, it's not fast enough. The damage isn't massive enough. But
and
they
go for it
anyway. So
there's the Vala ban.
The mind games are real. The mind games.
Seems like Chom is very happy to actually see Vala ban coming out. It's just a matter of time, I think. They are not even considering. They have it in their mouse. They just have to click the middle button to select their heroes. But actually, having Stitches against an Auriel is a very good pick too, because if you get that hook, with that, if you get some pick off with the Malfurion pair up with Genji, if you get that reset, that's the miracle way of going into the Infernal Shrines here.
Definitely. We're hyped about Raven's drafts the most, but it's not like MVP Miracle has a shitty draft or anything. It's perfectly fine. And it's going to be really interesting if Raven decide to go with the Cho'Gall, because MVP Miracle, if you look at their comp, it's perfectly feasible that they instantly pick Lyric and Greymane, and that would heavily counter the Cho'Gall as much as the Cho'Gall can be countered, right?
They do have lots of cards to actually counter it too.
Oh, I am so disappointed.
I just lost all my energy, Rally. I can't cast anymore. No, no, I can. But this is very interesting because what is this fifth pick that they've been hiding for such a long time?
A lot of things could make sense. I mean, like they could just fit a Lunara in there. They could put a Cassia in there. A lot of things, like, you can make anything work if Auriel and Uther are supporting it, right?
It's the G-Clef moment again.
Did it strike you?
Jolzin.
Jolzin.
Is that going to be coming in?
I think it could be a
all
possibility.
In Jolzin, Vala ban, Lunara, I don't think Raven considers playing Lunara too much, and Jolzin was buffed a little bit in this patch too.
Yeah, but
with the guillotine.
But will he take guillotine?
More of that passing go, of course, but with that sustain, with that AoE damage, not AoE healing. Oh, there's a counter, and again, we'll
MVP
see.
Miracle also wanted the Cho'Gall, but Lunara, yeah. So the best last pick from Raven comes out. Again, their drafting has been on point. Their drafting, in fact, has been on fire. Like, I can't disagree with any of their drafts that they came up with today, and that's a massive compliment from me because I generally find a way to get mad about any draft I see. But yeah, both sides picking the right heroes, giving us quality games. I couldn't be happier about my first cast on this test.
Yep, and also draft. Very standard, balanced draft coming out from both teams as we had almost Cho'Gall from Raven. But let's go into game number 3 on Infernal Shrines. In blue, MVP Miracle, Judy on Stitches, Dami on Genji, Jaehyun on Malfurion, C-Moving on Greymane, and Sniper on Leoric.
And on the side of Raven, Darvish on Auriel, Hamelin on Arthas, NMX on Lunara, Diong on Diablo, and Chom on Uther. This is Chom's third straight game on Uther.
I think he really prefers Uther right now over all the other supports because when they had the chance to pick the first support, they oftentimes just gave up Auriel too.
Yeah, I mean, like, even before today's match, his most picked supports were Rehgar and Uther tied at 3 times each, so definitely makes sense. And his Divine Storms essentially won Raven the game in the last game, so impressive plays coming out from what was considered to be, the best player on Raven in the phase past.
Yeah, Raven with this team comp now saying, now, let's talk about sustain. Who has better sustain? It's us. Let's team fight. That's what they were saying. And Malfurion with the healing nerfs and also no cleanse will be very painful against lots of CCs available towards the Raven's size actually.
Raven is has to be smiling. Who's the double support now?
That's exactly what they're feeling. But Miracle, they do have the sustained damage. Leora can come back to life anytime and leech all the percent damage from Diablo and Arthas. So I think they're also very smiling. And they also have the potential to get all the picks with the hook follow-up and Genji resets with the burst damage of Greymane. You can also have Cursed Bullet, taking a chunk of damage, chunk of HP from Diablo, especially even Arthas when needed. So I think Miracle does have a very good balanced draft too.
And a lot of pressure being put if we look at the team compositions here because, you know, Stitches and Lyric have so much to do. Unless they can land key skills such as the hook or the entomb, it's very difficult to burst through that phenomenal double support healing and Raven's double tank front line.
And you saw a little bit lack of teamwork there as the root plays right predicting, and DeYoung was actually charging in later. But they're looking for a pick, and Crazy Moving seems like he will barely live with the coming out heal from Jaehyun.
Yeah, that was a bit arrogant from Crazy Moving. It's a good luck on his side for not dying there, but so far no casualties on either side, and the bottom shrine spawns.
It's the bottom shrine, this first shrine of the game, also Frozen Punisher. And DeYoung steps in way too early, knowing that Genji's not here, but that was the early charge. Actually, Chom's gonna get taken out. There was no way of living there.
Uther falls, and DeYoung was the one to charge in, but Uther dies, but that doesn't really mean anything, because if the tank charges in like that, then you either forfeit the tank or you all follow him into the fray, and someone ends up dying. So, bad decision making from DeYoung there, but I think Chom will be able to arrive in time if they want to contest this shrine seriously, that is, but they do not want to. Arthas stays in the top lane. They are content to give this Punisher up to MVP Miracle, and I don't think Raven will have that hard of a time defending it, so it makes sense.
But here's the thing, if you're going to lose it anyhow, do you contest at least a little for it, or do you go for considering soaking in all three lanes? Arthas was soaking the entire time too. And there's a perfect follow with the Punisher stun coming in too. DeYoung will die for sure.
Fantastic hook from Judy, decent follow-up by the rest of his team. And although this won't spell disaster for Raven, it's gotta hurt. A slight experience lead, and it's all about morale too, right? A lot of Stitch's play is about, but Dami takes down 1 and 2.
That's KR Genji, guys. That's if you let Dami or Reset or among all the other Korean players take Genji. So powerful right now. Even with the nerfs too, his Shuriken at 4 talent too. He does do a little bit less damage, but overall he's pretty fine. Looking onto the kill, onto Jaehyun, actually steps onto the other side because he knows he's gonna die. There's no way of getting out.
Jaehyun is
helping hand!
Wow! Beautiful play from Judy. Judy is on fire this game, as is Dami. And we can't help but think that Raven got a bit too cocky there when defending the Punisher. I mean, we did talk about that Raven was going to have an easy time defending the Punisher, but that doesn't mean you can afford to get hit by Punishers and leave yourself vulnerable to dashing in Genjis.
Whoa, I literally thought Jaehyun had no escapes whatsoever there, but Judy coming in at the perfect moment to have that helping hand onto Malfurion. He lives!
And the series of great plays coming out from MVP Miracle gives them an entire level lead, and due to when the shrines respawn on this map, it is virtually guaranteed that they will have a level 10 advantage when the second shrine spawns, and this could be the start of a disastrous snowball for Raven.
Yeah, I think it's all costing them from not picking Cho'Gaw. And here comes a charge from DeYoung. It doesn't even matter. Leora can just walk away there. Here's the follow-up stun, though.
Yeah, the issue is that Sniper can die. It doesn't even matter at this point, because it's not like the Raven's top lane is pushing into the wall at this point, right? So Genji can easily move into the top lane, so call the experience, so there is no experience lost. which is exactly what he's doing. And level 10 already reached for MVP Miracle. That's a free shrine, that's a free Punisher.
Yeah, when they were only getting 1 kill, they took all 3 of these camps. And when Shrine's actually on top, that's the other side of the map, they will have to waste a lot more time to actually clear these waves. So it looks like they're just skipping it up for now. And they can't really contest because Miracle is already 10 already. So Raven, it seems to be they're making the right choice, but here comes the Entomb.
I don't think this was the best use of Entomb, but if they manage to pick off Arthas with this, then it's a completely different story, and they do.
And Judy with the bio will just casually walk away saying, "You're already dead." And Crazy Moving, of course, is solo striding as Greymane.
That was a bit naive from Raven because they probably assumed that a lot of members of MVP Miracle were up at the shrine, right? That's why they overextended so far down the mid lane despite not being level 10. But what actually happened was that 4 members of MVP Miracle were ready to dive in and get picks off. So Raven needs to be a bit more smarter about their shot calling. Like, it's not only their coordination that's the problem. That was just a bad decision overall to extend in the mid lane like that.
Yeah, of course, MVP Miracle, knowing that your enemy team is not going to contest at all, you don't have to put all the resources into the shrine when you just need Greymane to have the slower shrine when you have the upper hand. And with this Punisher, they will take this fort easy, almost free too. Sniper already working on to this last fort remaining for Raven.
Lunara didn't take her hero yet. Do you think there's a chance that she doesn't take Leaping Strike, which will leave her so vulnerable to Entomb?
Yes, I think it's very likely. That was a very good Aegis too. The hook does miss because of the Aegis, but this Punisher has been pushing the second wall already. It seems like it will even go towards the keep and punch few punches on it.
Yeah, so very good Aegis coming down from Darvish, but again, like, this is the start of a disastrous snowball for Raven, and Miracle are up 2 whole levels now. Almost gets the hook onto Diong, but luckily he doesn't get caught. But now a level 13 MVP Miracle ready to take over the map again with their talent advantage.
Things looks super bad for Raven right now, as they are losing this big macro fight. Oftentimes when they fall behind the macro fights, that's when they all feel rushed and they just decide to go in and team fight even when they're down on talent or their positioning is not too perfect and they make bad to worse. Let's see if they can brush that up, or see maybe if they can have better plays tonight against Miracle. Oftentimes this is the exact moment they overextend a lot.
Diong has no business standing in that fog, that vent. He has to get out. Someone's going to get hooked.
He actually charges in instead. And Curse Bullet already used, maybe missed. And NMX actually leaps in. They're doing tons of damage. Lyric missing from the fight scene. There's the Divine Storm onto Judy.
One-man Divine Storm without any follow-up damage. That was a terrible decision. It was a terrible decision to charge in the first place.
But there's a big Twilight Dream, but the sustain is real coming out from, not just from Uther, but now from Auriel. Even Dami had to get back off. Almost gets a kill on Hamlin. He does with the last tower shots.
They managed to sort of salvage what was a losing team fight, aided by several members of MVP Miracle failing to use their skill shots properly. Their focus got divided for a slight moment there, but the fact still remains that MVP Miracle have the talent advantage, have the structural advantage, are still 2 whole levels up, and even their lanes are pushing in, so Raven cannot contest this one right away.
There's a hook and the pair up. Perfect kill. There was nothing they could do to stop it. Even Luther no cleanse is not really helping them too much right now.
MVP Miracle are probably going to take down the fort and probably look to set their bruiser camp rolling, because that's what I would do if I was shot calling for MVP Miracle. And Greymane sitting at 15.
They actually want to come and punish Diong for not even overextending at least at all. They actually jukes out of the hook and tries to, but actually gets hooked because of that.
Judy's hooks are on fire today. Again, I would really like to see MVP Miracle just stop the shrine at 39, because that's what a lot of European players used to do and still do from time to time. I would like to see them stop it at 39. then go up and take the Bruiser camp and time it so that the Punisher and the Bruiser camp push in together, which would let them push with a talent advantage at level 16 as well. So I think that's what they should have done, but this is still good enough.
Yeah, they could have done that to make the Punish push as powerful as it can be, but they don't even need that at this point. Seems like they just want to go all in, try to force a team fight because they know they will have the upper hand with the Punisher coming in.
Really decent Entomb coming out. Diong is falling apart fast. A decent Crystal Aegis will keep him alive.
There's a root onto Crazy moving, and NMX does some damage, but this Punisher is still 57% alive. There's a stun onto NMX. He's out of position right now, but great APA with the Divine Storm. Dami will get picked off.
Genji did nothing that fight, and this is going entirely in the favor of Raven, but Lunara falls!
And there's another kill onto Sniper. That's the thing, that they both lacking damage right now. Of course, Greymane is still available for Miracle. They stepped in a little bit too early. And actually, because of Lunara and because NMX overextended, they were going for the kill. Dami wanted that kill, but he was the one who got stunned and chain stunned with that Divine Storm. I think he was a little bit not respecting the power of Divine Storm, that instant CC, which all Genji should be afraid of.
Yeah, so disrespectful positioning coming out from both Genji and Lunara means a botched team fight from both sides and nothing really happens. And Raven will be smiling at the end of this because if you look at the lanes, they have slightly managed to bridge the experience gap. They have managed to protect the bottom keep, but this changes everything again.
Yep, and the Entomb with the Cursed Bullet was perfectly sniped onto the perfect target. There was only one, so it's very hard to miss on that one.
These Entombs have been on point, as are the hooks. So we talked about how the two tanks on the side of MVP Miracle will be feeling the pressure to make those big plays, and so far in this game they definitely have been making those big plays. The hooks have been landing, the Entombs have been good, Dami has been screwing up a few times, but still, all in all, MVP Miracle are solidly in the lead.
Yeah, all he needs, because he built his talents into all the dash. He'll do extra, he will do lots of extra dashes with that. If he gets one kill, just not overextending a little bit, gets trapped by TC like that, that was a big mistake. But if he lives, if he gets to all those dashes with the Dragon Blade, he will fly across the map and wipe the entire team of Raven.
Do you think Dami's talent build is a response to the level 4 Shuriken Mastery nerf, or does he just want to go fast
I think it's just his personal choice, but actually picks onto the perfect target. It is on to Dami once more, and he gets picked off.
Dami is being so disrespectful.
But here's the hook onto Chum. Divine Shield, Divine Storm actually surviving at the even Crystal Aegis onto Uther right now.
What is NMX doing?
Over the wall. Oh my goodness.
What are you doing?
There's a really good Entomb with the cocktail damage coming out, but the sustain-wise, Raven is winning the fight right now. But without so much damage coming out from Lunara, they cannot really continue this fight. They have to back off. They do have the same talent though, so they can start the Shrine if they want to. Seems like they're not going for it right now.
Well, I mean, it sort of feels like a mirror image of what happened down at the bottom keep, right? Genji throws first and Lunara throws even harder, so in the end, nothing really happens, but, you know, that's sometimes what happens. And Arthas...
Here's a pair up and looking for the kill onto Leoric. Seems like it's not possible for the moment, but they're onto the chase though. Root is successful. Some more damage. There's a last hit.
Chom snipes off Leoric with that W, but overall, the slight bit of movement, slightly moving back that we just saw from Raven, again, signals a bit about their inconsistent shot calling, but NMX does it again.
Well, there's an NMX, and Dami will get picked off once more. This is...
What is the matter with these two players?
This is, they want to show the definition of Clown Fiesta today. Yeah. It's happening in Korea too. Okay, guys? It happens.
I am so tilted. But everyone else is playing pretty okay, right? It's only the two players that are being a bit too over-eager in what they're trying to do with their heroes. And overall, Raven is still comes out at a slight advantage after all those clownish things happening, because now they're at least on the same talent tier and they're missing the bottom keep, and that's gotta hurt. But they definitely can look for a fight as soon as Lunar arrives. Genji has 5 seconds left on the timer, but Miracle will take this shrine anyway. So it's all going to boil down to one last team fight before both teams hit 20.
Very likely. And these hooks on from Judy has been crazy tonight, as DeYoung is just stuck and rooted at the last moment too.
Not the worst decision to Aegis, but Hamelin got caught and there's nothing to save Hamelin now.
No curse bullet though, so that's limiting all the damage coming in for now. And Jaehyun actually did not, he could have gone all the way in, but it would have left him really in a dangerous spot if he wanted to go in, and Twilight Dream even spent. And even the kill was not really guaranteed with all the lacking damage coming out because of the cocktail build too. So great decision by Jaehyun to not overextend it, because they knew if they get this Punisher, they can go for the keep and maybe finish the game with the Twilight later on.
Definitely. It seems like both DPS players have learned from their previous mistakes. Neither Genji and Lara jumped into the enemy team this time, so that's definitely something positive. DeYoung gets really low, but his regeneration is really high.
His regen would come in, and they are going to get this keep for sure. And maybe they will even go for the core in there. Here's the APOC. Does miss a lot of targets though. The bio used by Judy, Hamelin onto the front line. NMX actually doing tons of damage to multiple targets. The hooks has been real. Dami this time steps over and actually pops the Dragon Blade too. I don't know what exactly happened after.
I think he was trying to get into the fray of the enemy team, but then he realized what happened the last 3 times he tried that. So I think it was a good decision to back off. I mean, taking down a keep, they're up a talent tier again, so they can rotate around the map and take all 5 camps. And by the time that Raven deals with all those camps, they will be level 20 as well. But with a 2 keep advantage, we have to keep in mind the fact that Raven has taken down 0 structures at this point, but the action happens again.
Oh, here's the action. There's a Divine Storm. Will actually get a kill onto Greymane. Even Jaehyun does not have Twilight Dream for 4 more seconds, and the Max is onto the chase. But there's the Entomb for the sacrifice. Now that's what I call sacrifice coming out from Sniper.
Sniper, you will be remembered.
You will be remembered. Also taking Leech. That's some very rare pick 20 talent for Leoric coming out.
To be completely honest, it doesn't really matter too much, I think, what Leoric picks at this point in the game. His level 20 talent is not going to be too significant in this game. So it's understandable, it's decent, and again, MVP Miracle may be a member down, but they definitely have the lane management advantage, and the hook misses, but that's not going to matter much. They probably want to just calmly fend off this mid push while their top and bottom lanes do their work for them.
And with that, they will go in. And DeYoung, even if he overextends a little bit, there's the curse bullet waiting. There's a hook, but no follow-up for now.
It's a bit surprising how fast Diablo is losing health. And a decent Entomb.
But no Greymane for now, because Greymane has been waiting. There's the APOC, and actually onto Malfurion. There's all the sustain gone for Miracle. They have to step back with the bio. The hooks has been real good, but no follow-up with the Malfurion already being dead right now.
I don't think that hook was the best idea, but as long as no one dies, all is fine. And Raven, without the tools to chase too far deep, and especially with all the forts still up on MVP Miracle's sides, will have to be content with taking this shrine. This will be their first Punisher of the game, if I'm correct.
That's right. They caught up the level. They are actually leading right now because of lots of focusing actually off for Miracle, when focusing for Raven was actually perfectly done. Miracle struggling against Raven. I wasn't really expecting to see this game when I was coming here, but they are making this work with the double supports, taking Auriel away.
To be fair, we have
hands.
never seen, and I repeat, never seen Raven draft so solidly at this. I'm so confused as to what they learned over the last 5 days, right?
And they've made lots of improvements even within this series, I feel like. And they are going in with the 20-minute Punisher mount, but this backdoor is happening. Miracle seems like they want to pressure. They want them to heart back home, and they're looking for it right now.
It seems like the virus of inconsistent shot calling has taken over MVP Miracle as well. So they decide to commit to the backdoor, but decide not to after seeing Raven slightly back off. So all in all, MVP Miracle still solidly in the lead. There is little Raven can do except for hope for the best in team fights.
Yeah, that was very good for Miracle because they knew they had the pressure, using that as one of their weapons to actually call the entire team of Raven back Hearth home so that they can clean up easy Punisher. Even if it was a 20-minute Punisher, they didn't even lose a single fort.
But Sniper is deep in enemy territory, and this could be the start of a team fight. Helping hand again.
There's a helping hand. Judy, maybe the best stitches coming out from Korea. I mark my words, guys. I think he may be the best hook coming out from Korea. Maybe JPL level. Let's see a little bit more of his.
No one will ever be as good as JPL on stitches.
There's the bold words coming out from Rally, guys. You heard it.
Well, I mean, like, I guess there could be someone in the world somewhere in Hero League.
Somewhere in space.
Yeah, in the depths of Hero League, but not in professional play.
Yeah. Well, this camp is getting greedy, and Sniper already on to spot this. Genji is looking for the dive in from the side, actually. Looking for the hook, too.
So lucky from Amelin to suddenly step to the side. He stepped aside even before he saw the hook coming in, right? So that has to be some element of luck, but good idea from him to stay behind that last unkilled mercenary.
And Darvish. Ariel actually has decent wave clear, so it's actually okay to send Ariel back for the wave clear, but this cannot be dealt with solo Ariel, so they still have a lot of pressure on the bot and top lane. That's what Miracle is using right now. Even they're a little bit behind on EXP, and seems like this Punisher may be the game-ending team fight for us.
We're passing the 23-minute mark, and doesn't this remind you of that Tempest versus Raven game where Raven stalled so long on Sky Temple and eventually turned it into a win? That was one hell of a comeback, and we might be seeing that in action again here.
Yep, and Sniper being dead, that seems to be the signal of team fight happening. It's always, if Lyric dies, that's the beginning of team fight oftentimes.
Yeah.
But with that pickoff, they are going in because the Entomb will be lacking for MVP Miracle's side, and they are being cautious. All they have to get is a very good hook. And Genji actually already clearing the mid lane. They also want to keep all three keeps down. They want the pressure.
Raven needs to be mindful of the huge wave that's gathering up on the bottom side of the map. And MVP Miracle will also be thinking about whether they should just let the Shrine go and attempt to put some pressure on down on that part of the map.
The pressure is real. The first bullet was used onto Diablo. Hamlin steps in, takes all the aggro, but their core is being attacked by the catapults right now. There's the APOC used. Judy is isolated from the entire team. He just has to stall time. Core going down to 71, 67 right now.
Judy is going to fall eventually, and Raven
38, 33. They can't go back home. There's no way. Judy's on the other side. 13%. This will be game going to MVP Miracle from all the pressure. No one around the core.
Crazy moving looks happy.
Catapults OP. Minions OP. That's what I'm calling it for game number 3.
I think this is another case of where Raven doesn't have the best shot calling. I'm absolutely sure that at least one member of Raven called that out, as we did on the cast. Bottom lane, a lot of catapults. We have to defend that now. But they didn't. They were sort of iffy about deciding to commit to a team fight. And the thing is, they shouldn't have thought about committing to a team fight at all. It just takes one look on their minimap to see that there are 3 catapults pushing in. And if they stall more than 30 seconds up on that shrine, it will be game over no matter what.
Yes, I think Miracle used that very, very wisely. And also Judy, I thought he was actually isolated from the team, but it was seems like it was somewhat intentional to have him on the other side, so make sure no one can heart back home because their catapults were pushing, having that all lead and the pressure. And that's exactly why Raven has been the constant problem of Raven, the big macro, the big picture, as the longer game it goes, if they're out rotating, oftentimes we saw something just like that in game number 3.
I mean, to be fair, Raven was caught in sort of a catch-22 because they either had to just give the Punisher, which would have been marching straight up to their open core, or they had to, commit to a team fight, hope to get a 5-0 wipe or something within like 20 seconds, then all hastily harf home and attempt to defend the bottom side of the map. But really, if you think about it in a cold mind for a second, then the obvious decision was to back off, take care of the bottom lane of the map, maybe get the 6 o'clock siege camp so it doesn't bother you later, and just deal with the Punisher by carefully guiding it to your still undestroyed mid-keep, right? Because you can sort of lead the Punisher to jump in that direction.
All the aggro will be taken with the perfect plays too, but of course they had no way of, by that point it was very hard to actually come back. It would take a miraculous miracle for them to actually come back with the 24-minute Punisher coming out. So I think they were lacking, of course, with the shot calling. At the moment, we saw indecisive moves just going back and forth a lot of the times, but they had a very solid team fight, I gotta say. We saw lots of overextension from Dami especially. Divine Storm seems to be the one to go for Chom on Uther oftentimes. They got great focusing, they got picks ups, but the thing is, right after the pickup, if they can make the perfect distribution of the resources, I think they can snowball so hard that they can actually win a series against Miracle.